Good evening, everybody. Just thought I'd pop on here and share what I'm looking at this week here with soybeans. Soybeans is one of the markets that I've identified as being strongly set up for a long. Although we've been in a major downtrend, there are signals that this market perhaps ready for a reversal. So I always start with the commercial commitment of traders positioning. So the commercial commitment to traders index is flashing a buy signal. We have the commercials are more short relatively to their positioning over the last 6 months. So that's a buy signal. The commercials are also approaching the max long of the last 3 years. So I pull up barchart.com here. And as you can see, last time they were this long was back here when we had this little rally. So we're approaching that area again. And what's been happening is on this down move, the commercials have been getting more and more long, and they're getting towards an extreme in positioning. Let's get rid of the commercials and we can just look at the small speculators. What I noticed about the small speculators is not quite at an extreme for the past year, but we're getting there. So they are getting the small specs are almost they were right here when they shorted that, but generally the small specs are the party that we want to trade against. And then we also have undervaluation versus gold and bonds, oversold on the stochastics. We are getting some momentum divergence, but that doesn't get confirmed until we close on a closing basis on the weekly above this line. Also, interestingly, we have the Paunch forming. So this is the ADX, 8-period ADX. We're in a down move and ADX is moving up and it's over 40. That's the Paunch essentially setting up. So price going in a down move, stochastic oversold, and ADX going up over 40. If this gets up over in 60, the 60 would mean it's a significant end of trend coming. But if this rolls over, then the ADX Paunch is confirmed, and we should see some more upside. That we also have sentiment is very bearish on soybeans, which is a buy signal, and we also have accumulation going on, and the percent R and the ultimate oscillator is giving us some buy signals as well. Now, interestingly, over in the cycle platform here, number of things pointing towards a low being put in somewhere here. The first thing we'll look at is a composite. This is a composite of the 3 most similar years of price action for soybeans. Soybeans putting in a bottom sometime between August and the end of middle of September, and then generally going up until February. Now, the annual cycle is a cycle that's fairly strongly observed here in the soybeans market. So sometime between now, where we are now, and end of September, should be a major cyclical low. So it's not a bad idea for me to be looking for longs right now, because we do have this annual pattern of having a little bit of a rally end of August. Now, this cycle here is a blend of the 58-month, which is right here, which is, and then the 363-day cycle. And we can see here, it's actually been doing a pretty good job of calling some of these market turns. Obviously, it's not perfect, but it's doing a pretty good job. So we're right in the zone of a fairly strong cyclical low on the higher time frame cycles. This is a cycle of the 358 days. So in a way, this is a bit redundant to have this on here, because this cycle here has a 363 day blended in. So I think realistically, this is the good one to watch, the blend of the two. Now, another interesting cycle here is the decennial pattern. Let's put that on here. So if you don't know what the decennial pattern is, it's the pattern that basically So we're in a year ending in 2024. So it looks back at all other years that ended in with a 4, and it comes up with a general pattern that those years had followed. So we see this 4-year pattern generally to put in a high sometime in March and a low sometime end of August. So according to the decennial pattern, we're right at a major cyclical low based on the decennial pattern. And then lastly, also look at the last 20 years of data to see if there's any annual predictable zones that maybe support our idea of a long. So I have the computer trying to find minimum 80% win rate wins on the upside and the downside. So we could see there was an 85% probability if you sold in June and held until August. 85% probability that it'll go up. Now we do see a strong tendency at the beginning of October. 90% of the time in the last 20 years, if you were to buy in October 5th and hold until December 24th, there's 90% win rate that price would be higher in that time frame. So that's a little bit further away from obviously where we are here, but there's enough things cyclically. We have the decennial pattern and this high time frame pattern here, suggesting we are perhaps at a major cyclical low here in soybeans, and we have the backing of the commercials positioning. Admittedly, they could be a bit more long for my liking. I wouldn't mind seeing them actually quite long and taking out the high they made several months ago. But for now, I'm in this trade. I am long. We haven't had a actual official trend change. I took a more aggressive entry on when this high got taken out here. I got long. Realistically, we want to see 2 full range days above the 18-day moving average and then the high of those 2 candles taken out for us to have an official trend change. So I took the earlier entry knowing it's a little bit more aggressive, but yeah, I think this is an interesting market to watch. These grains have been getting absolutely crushed, and I think it's eventually we're going to see some sort of reversal to the upside here. So that's what I'm watching for. I'll update you as this trade evolves, and until then, I wish you good luck and good trading.